unlock this door with the key of imagination.
Every year we try to honor people, members of the industry that we want to put into our Hall of Fame. And this was an idea that Greg Kimek had brought to me, as well as some others, Gary, Jim Schauberg, and in 1991 we had our first 4 inaugural inductees: Dave Gottlieb, Ray Maloney, Harry Williams, and Sam Stern. Since that time, we've inducted Harvey Heiss, Harry Mapps, Steve Kordak, George Millen, Wayne Nyans, Norm Clark, Juan McAdams, Dave Christensen, Dick Buchel, Steve Ritchie, Gordon Morrison, Larry DeMar, Greg Kimek, Pat Lawler, Roger Sharp, Steve Young, Gary Stern, Christian Marsh, Jim Patla, Ed Krinsky, Tom Neiman, Ed Cibola, Joe Kamenkow, Kevin O'Connor, Greg Ferris, Gary Gayton, myself and Mike, Roy Parker, Margaret Hudson, Paul Ferris, Jed Weinberg, Lou, Dave, and Meyer Gensberg from Genco, Alvin Gottlieb, John Yossi, Ted Zale, and George Gomez. And we have some additional inductees for this year.
Before I give this to Jim, I'd like to say a few words. Jim, for those of you that don't know, publishes a magazine, Pin Game Journal. Been going for what, 18 years now? A long time. And I figure he's probably put out more issues than any other of the pinball magazines. And that alone justifies his place in the Hall of Fame. But there's more. And I think it's really about the man. Jim's a great guy. We've heard a lot about how there's terrific people throughout pinball, both in the industry and in the hobby. And many of you would have benefited directly from Jim's generosity with his time. I know from conversations with Jim that he's helped many people directly, both in the industry and in the hobby, making connections, finding answers, tracking down history. But there's more than that. Because Jim is such a great guy, he gets access to the industry, what's going on in the back room, games under development. He also has direct access to all the great people in the industry that make the games that we love so much. And because of that, when he brings out the Pin Game Journal, his stories really are the inside stories. And it's very important because over the 18 years, he's documented so much of what is going on in pinball. And it's because he's a great guy. And that's Jim Martin.
Thank you, everyone. I'm standing there like creating a speech because I had no idea this was happening. But on the wall of my high school journalism class, it said, "Publications are not for the glorification of their staff." So I'm amazed by this, and because of that, I'm not going to speak anymore because I have nothing else to say. Thank you.
Our next recipient just told me that it's past his bedtime. So I'll make this brief. Big D, as my kids called him when they were young, because he was quite the largest man that had ever come over to our house. They said, "Dad, he's bigger than our refrigerator." Big D, Dennis Dortman, came from Ohio, and about 28 years ago, I just heard that in the back of the room earlier, and made quite a name for himself since then. I'll go through the list. He started on rapid fire. He came in with a cabinet, and it kind of knocked everybody's socks off, and everybody figured at Valley, we got to do something with that cabinet. So they put him on rapid fire, and it looked pretty cool. It was different, it was unique, and that's the kind of guy he is. He's different and he's unique. Special Force came next. Party Animal after that, Blackwater 100,
Elvira and the Party Monsters, Dr. Dude, Party Zone, Whitewater, and he may be one of the only designers that designed a game with water in both games, Whitewater and Blackwater. Demolition Man, Indy 500, Scared Stiff, Tower of Power, a redemption game, which is amazing. I may have missed one here, Dennis, so bear with me. Simpsons Kooky Carnival, Pirates of the Caribbean, Wheel of Fortune, and most recently, Whoa Nelly, Big Juicy Melons. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to induct my friend and co-worker, Dennis Nordman.
Wow. I don't know if you'll believe this, but I'm at a loss for words. Greg knows how much I like to talk. But this is an incredible honor. And you heard the list of people that they mentioned that are in the Hall of Fame now. To be included with that group of people, I'm just so honored. And I appreciate this award more than you can imagine. I never dreamed when I was just a guy in Ohio that I'd be in a position like this. I'm very happy, thank you.
In the late 1970s, Valley created the first computer-operated pinball machines. The other manufacturers knew they could not stand still. D. Gottlieb farmed out a project to Rockwell. Stern Pinball took their own unique approach, which resulted in a license of the Valley computer system. That trick worked more than once, I heard. Louis Castro, as chairman of Williams, brought in a new face to the industry from Silicon Valley. Mike Stroh had the technical background to oversee this major transition to solid-state pinball, a project which, curiously enough, was operated as an experiment rather than a survival imperative. But Mike had a far greater legacy in this industry. Didn't you just call me a pain in the ass? Is it too late to take me? Back then you did. You know, the reason the pinball machine ended up in the middle office, I couldn't pick the lock on the second door. I'm totally annoyed by that. Where were we? Mike had a far greater legacy in this industry. Mike sought out the very best design and development talent and created an environment where this talent could do their best and thrive. Many of you have heard speakers this weekend from Williams, Valley, Midway, and you hear the recurring theme from each one about how grateful they were to be able to work with such a large group of very talented people, and how they don't expect to be part of anything like it again. It was Mike's philosophy that led to this parade of outstanding talent, which resulted in a total domination of the pinball and video game industries by Williams, Valley, and Midway.